Alright, so my friend made a game called Survive SpongeBob the Killer at 3:99 a.m. Today we're going to be talking about its lore, how fun it is, and overall rating the game. First, we're going to talk about the Squidward family. We got Buffward, which hates Buff Bob and is nice to basically everybody else. We got Squidward from Fortnite, which hates the player but is nice to everybody else. And then we got Communist Word, which just yells Squidward. Squidward. And then we got Squidward himself over in the corner, and if you run at him, he falls over. And that's basically it. Now on to Buff Bob basically hates itself. Spawns in Jellyfish Fields, which just, you can describe Jellyfish Fields for me. And then is nice to everybody else. Freddy's the lore character. It will kill you on sight, but it also has some secret lore that we'll dive into in the lore part. Mr. Krabs is one of those lore characters too. He basically T-poses most of the time, but once you touch him, you instantly die. Also with Patrick, he does literally nothing. So while making this video, they actually made an Alpha 2, which is another update. So now we have Fat Bob and a brand new item called Dr. Seuss the Lorax. So we're going to quickly explain some of these characters. There's only about like 4 new characters. So we'll start off with Fat Bob. Fat Bob basically stands. Right next to him is Cry Bob, which teleports you. SpongeBob, which basically walks around and is hated by Buff Bob. The Lorax, which also just like stands there, but you know, there's also the Lunstler on the top of the house. Alright, so we have to start with Fortward because all the lore starts with him. So, Fortward was originally Squidward, okay? From the original show. Back in 2000, he goes home and he's kind of speeding, alright? And he accidentally runs over SpongeBob and then crashes into his house. And, you know, SpongeBob's a goner. SpongeBob's dead, okay? And so, the reason why you see Sandy's house without Sandy is because eventually she becomes Freddy. After all of this, but she first starts off by Squidward. Squidward and Communist Word basically are just clones that can't do anything, okay? Communist Word can talk, but he can't walk. And so, she continued to advance her cloning technologies until she got into Buffward. And Buffward basically killed Mrs. Puff, okay? And Plankton's entire chum bucket. The chum bucket, you can't see it on the map. It's replaced by 7-Eleven now. He's locked into a cage, and after perfecting the clones, she makes a Buff Bob. She accidentally falls into a Friday Nights at Freddy's suit, and then becomes Freddy. And to continue her cloning operations, you have to become into a morph, and the more morphs that people use, the more that clones are made. Now, I almost forgot to talk about Mr. Krabs, but Mr. Krabs, basically, the only reason why he kills you is if you get too close, and because he doesn't want to be cloned. That's basically all the lore until Alpha 3. So, on to the rating. Alright, so after ranking the entire game, basically I give it a 2 out of 10.